Good morning, Daviess County. I'm Scott Wagner. I'm the Associate State Director for AARP Kentucky, and welcome you to another live broadcast of what you need to know to vote safely during the COVID pandemic. Fortunately for Kentuckians, due to a bipartisan agreement forged by the Governor Andy Beshear and the state's Secretary of State Michael Adams over the summer, Kentuckians now have many more options to stay safe and vote in the November elections. We're excited to be joined today by our state president, Charlotte Whittaker, and the Daviess County clerk. Good morning, Leslie McCarty and Charlotte Whittaker. Thank you all for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we are happy to take your questions live in the Facebook chat. So if you have a question about voting in Daviess County, here's your chance. Here's your county clerk, Leslie McCarty, is live from her own home this morning. Good morning. And we're going to be taking those questions live. So go ahead, start filling up that queue with your questions. And we're going to today talk about the Daviess County voting plan, which I've looked at over the last couple of days. It's really impressive. I think it offers a lot of terrific options, and I think people are going to have some important questions. But I think also it looks like Kentuckians are excited to be voting in this election. But let's go to Charlotte real quick. Charlotte, good morning. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm sorry?
You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Charlotte Whittaker. I'm your AARP Kentucky volunteer president. I want to welcome you to today's conversation about changes to Kentucky's general election. AARP is proud of its decades-long history of nonpartisan member organization working to promote the health and well-being of the older Americans for more than 60 years. Today, I'm very honored to have my good friend, Leslie McCarty, who is your Daviess County court clerk. We'll be talking about the county's voting plan and what you need to know for voting and the new process in Kentucky's general election. You can ask questions by typing them in to the Facebook comment section. We hope to answer all your questions today to make sure you have the information you need to exercise your right to vote.
Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate that little introduction there. And what we want to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is AARP Kentucky. I'm Scott Wagner, the Associate State Director for Communications. And we are excited this morning to have with us Leslie McCarty, who has been working very hard in Daviess County, getting ready for the election. And Leslie, I know you've got a full schedule. But we want to take your questions live in the chat box. So if you have a question, here's your chance to ask your county clerk. But Leslie, let's just go to you. And can you kind of walk us through some of just the who, what, where, and when for voting in Daviess County?
Well, sure. So as you know, today is the deadline to request your absentee ballot on govoteky.com. You can also call the clerk's office at 270-240-5771 and request that absentee ballot. Now, when that is over, when the deadline is passed, then we will have early voting starting October 13th through November the 2nd. And here in Daviess County, we have two early voting locations, one at the courthouse, and you can come to the courthouse lobby from 8:30 to 4 and cast your vote. Also, the last 3 Saturdays before the election, October 17th, 24th, and 31st, we will have early voting at the courthouse from 8 until noon. The other early voting place that we have is at the Old Burke's department store at our Town Square Mall, and that's only Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4. So some great options there, and we picked a lot of our locations, which are only 6, because of all the regulations due to COVID-19. So on election day, like I said, you'll have 6 places you can vote at, and I'm looking at my cheat sheet because I can't remember. So on election day, you'll have the Owensboro Sports Center, Yellow Creek Baptist Church, their gymnasium, Bellevue Baptist Church gymnasium, the Heinz Convention Center, again, the Old Burke's department store in Town Square Mall, and Owensboro Christian Church. So yes, plenty of options for election day. And, voting centers are different than precincts. I think a lot of people are used to voting where they normally vote, of course, because that's always how it's been done. But because of the pandemic, we need places that are big, where we can social distance and set apart all of the equipment, tables, all of that kind of stuff. Everything has to be 6 feet apart. You also have to have one separate entrance and exit in all these facilities for people to go in and out of. So a lot of thought and a lot of planning has been put into this. So I hope that answers some of your questions.
Well, I think it does. One of the questions that we keep coming back to,
Sure.
that we hear a lot, is what sort of identification do voters need to bring if they're going to choose to vote in person? What do they need to bring with them to one of the super sites?
So, the law changed this year. They passed some legislation, and I'm sorry, I forget the name of the bill, but you have to bring something that is a picture ID, and those picture IDs are either your driver's license or your Kentucky state issued ID, a college or technical college ID, and if you work for the government, like city or county, your badge that has your picture and your name on it. So any ID that has, except for high school, that was not in the statute. So those 4 types of picture IDs will be acceptable. If you don't have those types of IDs, then there is a form that you have to fill out, and some alternate forms of ID, even though they don't have your picture on them, are your SNAP card. I'm drawing blank, Scott.
Hey, well, here's the thing. There's more information right now on our website. We've got a terrific article, AARP.org/KY votes. It's on the screen now. But one of the things that was really exciting earlier this month, you should have received your AARP bulletin in Kentucky if you're an AARP member. And in that, there is a special edition included in this month's AARP bulletin that's really outstanding. It has what voters need to know in general, and a lot of links and information to individuals like yourself and your, I presume, the best number, if you're in Daviess County, to call for any questions, call the clerk office. We have 270-240-5771. And then, of course, there really is a one-stop shop for voters in Kentucky. And if you're online, and you can get to govoteky.com, that website is all inclusive.
Oh, that website is fantastic. The State Board of Elections and the Secretary of State did an amazing job putting the site together, because you can request your absentee ballot. You can also put in an application to be a poll worker. And one of the cool things about when you request your absentee ballot is that you can follow its status. So you can see from the time it gets mailed out to you till the time we receive it. And then you can see, if it's accepted or rejected. So I think that's pretty neat. I think this is maybe a model that a lot of states should follow.
I think so. And I think Secretary Adams is to be commended for working very closely with the legislature to make these elections safer and more secure than ever before. And also, you have the opportunity with more options. So one of the questions that I know on a lot of folks' minds. What about folks in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, who might have limits to their mobility? Is there any special instructions that you can provide for them? Or Charlotte, do you know of any?
Well, I know that our office works pretty closely with most of our assisted living facilities, our nursing homes. They work with their program coordinators to get this information to them. Also, they can always call the office too for any type of assistance. And we try to go out of our way to help. And, it's been really sad with this coronavirus that we are not able to be a polling place in those facilities. So I hope our involvement, we will continue to have positive relationships with these places.
Well, Leslie, let me ask you one other question related to that.
Sure.
And Charlotte, you can jump in anytime. And let me, as a reminder to the audience, if you have a question for your county clerk in Daviess County, here's your chance. Leslie McCarty has joined us this morning from Owensboro, talking about voting safely in this next upcoming election. And as a reminder, today is the deadline to request your absentee ballots. So before 11:59 p.m. local time, and you can get more information on that at govoteky.com. So, Charlotte.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Leslie, how many ballot boxes are there in Daviess County where you can drop your ballot off?
Well, that's funny you should ask, because currently there's only one. We have ordered 6 more ballot boxes, and I checked with Jared Deering, who is the main person with the State Board of Elections, and he has said that they will be delivered between October 1st and October 15th. So hopefully those will get delivered sooner than the 15th, and they are supposed to be at about all those. Sorry, I'm getting a little flustered trying to find my my place here. But yeah, we do have other locations picked out, and it's supposed to be the Daviess County Operations Center, Western Kentucky University Owensboro campus, Daviess County Public Library, Whitesville City Hall, Town Square Mall, and Doodlebugs Market in Knoxville. However, I haven't been advertising it a whole lot since we don't have those physically in our possession. So, but you can currently drop your ballot off at the courthouse, and that's right in the lobby. These metal boxes are pretty tall. They're probably about 3.5, 4 feet tall, pretty heavy. So if you wanted to try to steal it, you definitely cannot get it under your shirt.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
I filled out my voter registration card back several years ago when I was 18. And, with arthritis and aging, I suppose, my signature probably doesn't look like it did back then. And if
Right.
you run across the signature that you question, what do you do? And do you call that person? What's the plan here?
Yes, so we do take all that into account. If we know, if we see that person's voter card and their signature is different, we do look at if their birth date is provided. We do look at that. We take that into account and see the consistencies. But if there is a question, one of the things that we do, if there is a phone number or email provided, we contact them directly and tell them what the issue is, that their signatures don't match, and that they can scan their driver's license or something that has their picture and their signature on it, and that way we can match those up. And they can come to the office and do a signature cure as well. So they have a chance to email that to our office.
Also, is there any transportation for seniors to get to a voting place this time, like Grits buses or anything like that that can help our seniors? Mhm.
Now, I haven't heard about that. I mean, there usually is transportation provided. I know the buses run for free on election day. I haven't talked to Grits, but with the corona, I'm not sure if any of that has changed. Everything we do now, we have to take that into consideration. I definitely wouldn't want anyone getting sick because they came out to vote. Definitely don't want to put anybody in jeopardy. So that's a good question, and definitely something I need to look into. And I appreciate you bringing that up.
Well, I know in Ohio County, transportation is a huge problem because we do not have any kind of mass transit. So
Sure.
you have a few more options in your county, but still, it would be nice to have that service provided. Mhm.
Absolutely. I know some nonprofits that do provide transportation. I know Girls Incorporated did. I don't think my electricians are here. So I'm not sure. And like I said, with the coronavirus, not exactly sure. Sorry, that's my dog barking since we have guests. So,
Hey, well, Charlotte, let's talk a minute. You and I, AARP. We've put out a video that you're featured in, talking about how to vote safely. Talk about your voting plan and where you get information on voting right now in Kentucky. So we've got the website. We've got AARP's Facebook page. We're on the Twitter page. So you can go to aarp.org/KY votes. And we've got 2 or 3 articles up there right now talking about how to vote safely in Kentucky. So, Charlotte, did you receive your bulletin yet with the special edition?
I did, and you're right. There's some, that was a great, a great way to educate our membership across Kentucky. We have almost 500,000 members. So truly that was a way to reach out to our membership. Locally, we've done this with my county court clerk, Bess Ralph, who just did an amazing job explaining and answering so many of these questions that Leslie has answered as well. The primary went so well across the Commonwealth. And again, I salute our Secretary of State, Michael Adams. And of course, to work together with our governor has just been a prime example of how democracy is supposed to work for the Americans and for Kentuckians. So I'm very honored to be able to say I'm so proud of both of those folks for coming together to help my generation, to be able to vote and feel safe about voting. I know, there have been a lot of absentees requested, as the governor announced yesterday, and it's outstanding that so many have already requested their ballots. And this year, my husband and I choose to vote early voting, and I know that Leslie will be giving us all those dates. But the fact that after the starts the 13th, we can go to the courthouse and vote. I know our county is going to have an outside room that we can go to and vote that way. And I think she's going to be open on Saturday. Leslie, you're back. Do you want to share your dates, how people can vote early? Mm-hmm.
Yes. So starting October 13th, you can vote early, and that goes through November the 2nd. The only place that will have Saturday voting will be the courthouse, and that will be from 8 until noon, October 17th, 24th, and 31st. Now, I've been kind of kidding that if you come on the 31st, you should wear your Halloween costume, and maybe we'll have a costume contest with just the people there. It could be a lot of fun.
Okay, now you're talking about some fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could come dressed up as your favorite politician or president, or why not? You've got to get out and vote, make it fun.
That is like one of the most fun ideas I've heard lately. So that's
Absolutely.
Saturday voting, and that's going to be
just at our courthouse.
Just at the courthouse.
Yes.
You need to bring your identification.
Yes, bring your
Is there anything
identification.
else you need to bring?
No, that will be it. But the ballot this year is front and back. So please be sure that you read the ballot and get familiar with the two amendments. There's two constitutional amendments that you need to read through, so that way you can decide a yes or no vote for those. I think one is Marcy's Law, and the other has to do with term length of judges, circuit judges, maybe. So yes, maybe somebody can correct me in the comments. So yes, bring your ID and have your mind made up and read those amendments.
Leslie, can you talk about your local races there this year? I think you all probably have a lot more on your ballot this year than Ohio County does.
Well, sure. This year we have 24 ballot styles, and that's because of all the local races. We have the Owensboro mayor race and the Owensboro City Commission race. We also have the Whitesville City Commission race. We have several school board elections, 13th District State Representative. I forget the number of representative, but it's DJ Johnson and Jim Glenn. We also have Senate and congressional districts. So, I mean, there are just like several races that depending where you live in the county or in the city, that you need to get familiar with the candidates, see who they are. I mean, for the Owensboro City Commission, there are 16 Owensboro City Commission candidates. So definitely need to do your research who you might vote for. In the mayor's race, there are four people running for mayor. So that's a lot of excitement.
There is. And Leslie, fortunately, on your website, on the Daviess County Clerk website, I saw the sample ballot yesterday. That's yes. What you're talking about. So if voters want to go there, your website is very easy to get to. But voters can also call the county clerk if they need to find out more information.
Absolutely. They can call me at the office, 270-240-5771. They can ask for me. I do a Facebook Live almost every other day, just kind of talking about the election, especially as these deadlines are passing. October the 5th was the deadline to register to vote. And then today is the deadline to get your absentee ballot. So we try to keep everybody informed. I probably do need to do one about the ballot, what's exactly on it. Of course, as an election official, I cannot, endorse anybody. And that's probably a good thing.
Well, and Leslie, also, this is a good opportunity to jump in. Charlotte, AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization. We've been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years, and we do not endorse candidates or parties. Is that correct?
Yes. A lot has changed due to COVID-19, as we all know, but one thing will never change: the importance of voting. And right now, with the health of Kentuckians at risk, it's more important than ever that we have our say at the ballot box. For more information on how you can request your absentee ballot or vote in person during Kentucky's general election, visit AARP Kentucky's website at aarp.org, Kentucky Votes, or call your Kentucky Board of Education elections at 1-800-246-1399, or call Leslie McCarty at the Daviess County Clerk's office.
All right, Charlotte, thank you for that quick update. And folks, if you're just joining us, this is AARP Kentucky, and I'm Scott Wagner. I'm the Associate State Director of Communications. And we are so happy this morning to be sharing some time with the hardworking Daviess County Clerk, Leslie McCarty. Leslie, we're going to wrap this up. You've
Sure.
got just a couple of minutes here. What haven't we covered? What else do folks need to know about voting safely in Daviess County?
Well, I've been thinking about that, and just want to mention that if you do come vote in person, all of our staff and poll workers will be wearing the personal protection equipment. They will have masks and face shield and partitions for when you sign in to vote. So, and we'll also have hand sanitizer, that sort of thing. So we're taking all the necessary precautions and steps for people to come and do it safely. And if you don't mind, I just want to take a minute to thank the poll workers and my staff. They have worked really hard for the last 2 months to get this prepared. And the next couple of weeks, we are in the middle of poll worker training. So since this is my second year, I'm still learning quite a bit. They're actually letting me help teach the class. So yeah, when I teach, I learn better. But we're trying to be very well prepared, well trained, and taking those extra steps of precaution with the 6 feet social distancing, wearing the protective equipment, and we have just the best. And I know in Ohio County, Bess has some great workers too. And I love Bess Ralph, and she's such a great lady.
And that's a great shout out to Bess Ralph in Ohio County. And we want to thank her for being on with us earlier this week. All right. So I think we've covered a lot of ground here. And I have to say, you're doing some terrific work. I mean, I think the real work is done by the county clerks and the volunteers and the staff that are making this happen. You had big success in the primary. I know Secretary Adams has done some terrific work, and he was just in I think he was at the Rooster Booster, maybe in Owensboro earlier this week. So
yes,
there's a lot of activity going on. So ladies and gentlemen, just again, this is AARP Kentucky. We're a nonprofit, nonpartisan membership organization. We've been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. Everybody knows this election is going to be just unlike any other, and that's why AARP is fighting to ensure that Americans 50 plus can vote safely from their home or in person. So make sure your voice is heard in Kentucky on November 3rd. There are big issues on the table: Social Security, Medicare, health, financial security, and lowering prescription drug prices. So we want to thank you both so much for being with us today. And let's just, we'll stay tuned and see how it all comes out November 3rd. So you're going to take some time off after the elections there, Leslie?
I sure hope so.
All right.
I will
and
definitely
Charlotte,
need it.
Charlotte, any final words from you?
Well, I just, Leslie, how long do you think it will take you to get all the votes counted in Daviess County?
I'm hoping that we have them all counted by the end of that week, and we won't have to have a recount. We had the very famous recount right when I came into office. So we are hoping that whoever does win wins by a landslide.
Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you, and it's always good to visit with you. Mm-hmm.
It's good to visit with you, Charlotte. I miss seeing you, and I thank you for inviting me to be on the show. It's nice to get that information out there. So thank you, and thank you for what you do for AARP. You're always promoting it, and you're such a good spokesperson for those in your county and in this area. So thank you so much.
And Leslie, you're absolutely right. I tell you what, we couldn't do what we do at AARP Kentucky without volunteers like Charlotte and a bunch of other ones. Okay, well, we're at the bottom of the bottom of the hour. It's now 11 o'clock. We're at the top of the hour. But thank you both for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our broadcast here. But hey, thank you both for joining us. And if you need any more information, please check us out online at aarp.org/KY votes. Leslie, Charlotte, have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.